Welcome to Canfield, Ohio, one of the oldest state fairs in the world. This year's fair is home for its first Grand National NTPA pull. That means 2 days of incredible pulling with some of the most revered drivers in the truck and tractor pulling world. One of the most innovative teams would have to be the Miller pulling team, with son Steve and father Bud Jaski. They house 3 vehicles and may pull as many as 7 or 8 times in one weekend. From these multi-engine modified tractors to the 2-wheel drive Gold Ox, and then back to the world of 4x4 pulling, the basic of them all. We talked about their newest innovation in pulling today. We asked Bud what inspired him and his team to build the all-new Miller 4x4.
Would you mind telling us about it?
Yeah, we just thought that it was time for some changes to be made in the 4-wheel drives. Everyone was kind of getting the same thing, and we talked to a fellow who builds sprint cars and where they use torque-absorbing suspensions, and that's what we're trying to develop here. That, and also have a truck that has enough weight on the front to really utilize the new sleds that hammer you so hard at the end where it practically is pulling the front wheels off the ground. We feel every pound that we can get up on the front. So we've got a truck that's just extremely light. All right, we're connecting torque bars to the rear end and then running torque bars up into the frame to absorb the differences of the track. The coil-over shock suspension that makes it real adjustable and variable as to spring rates and just changing springs and changing heights. And it's also got a 4-link suspension that is real typical of what the drag cars are all using right now. The frame is chrome moly, and it's 1.5 inches by 125 wall on the main rails. Then the struts are like 90 thousandths wall thickness. The frame was actually fabricated by a fellow in Wisconsin who's a noted sprint car and midget car frame builder, and by the name of Tom Pogo, and got real involved in it. And he used his ideas by coming to a bunch of pulls and watching along with our own ideas to put it together. It's a Batten overhead cam engine. It's got 4 camshafts and 4 valves per cylinder. They're belt driven, as you can see, and it just makes it unique, and it's typical of what is now being developed in the IndyCar and hoping to get better breathing characteristics out of the engine. Our class is natural aspirated. We can't use superchargers, so the air that we can cram into those cylinders is the ultimate of getting horsepower, and we just felt that the airflow characteristics of having 4 valves is highly superior to 2 valves, so that's the reason we went that way. It still will. The Aries block that we've run for a lot of years, about 7 or 8 years, and then Batten developed the 4 valve, and so we decided we'd try to iron that out at the same time and try to make it perform. We're trying to do both. I mean, we're trying to develop enough power to run strong. It takes the motor and the chassis, we feel. It's a combination thing. One of them doesn't just do it by itself. The chassis without the motor won't make it either. So it takes both ends. In closing, I'd just like to thank, besides my sponsor, Miller High Life and Kendall Motor Oil, all the fellows at the shop that don't get to come along and can't appreciate how unique the vehicle runs and get to see their work on the track. And there's just been everybody at our shop has participated in getting this thing done and getting it here and making it to the first Grand National.
Tonight, Canfield, Ohio will host their first ever NTPA Copenhagen-Skoal Grand National Pulling Circuit event. Hi, everybody. I'm Doc Riley, Power Pack Motorsports. And coming up, the nation's finest will be here in Canfield. It's all coming up next. Everybody, and welcome to Canfield, Ohio. It's the site of the first ever Grand National in Eastern Ohio. Hi, everybody. I'm Doc Riley, Power Pack Motorsports. And coming up tonight, the 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class from Canfield, Ohio. Jerry Colton out of Manitou, Ohio. Pull right out the gate. It's got to be a Dodge. 649 cubic inches. Jerry Carlton, the Enterprise, come out 300 foot. Made it look easy.
It's really not easy. We just got a right bite and got a hold of it, and we come right down the track. First time we're missing, we still have a dead cylinder, so I don't know what we'll do in a pull-off, because there's going to be some other boys coming right out the end behind me. This is the Golden Ox, but it's a new decade model. $50,000 to $60,000 in his motor. We will see if technology will go the way of Bud Jaski. Again, the first hook he's ever made with the Golden Ox. Bud Jaski is set to roll. The Golden Ox has done it. Past 300 foot, and he will definitely join the rest of the field in our four-wheel drive pull-off. Canfield, Ohio has been very good to the 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class. 26 competitors hooked to the thumb number 14. 13 went 300 feet. We'll have a pull-off with a baker's dozen. 13 set to hook. Jerry Carlton, the first one here in the pull-offs. Of course, during a pull-off, all the people that have gone 300 feet return. The sled has been reweighted, and we are set to determine a winner here in the 6,200 four-wheel drive class. Jerry Carlton running 649 cubic inches. Tough puller, 8 years experience behind him. He is set to pull the thumb number 14. Jerry Carlton sets the mark for the rest of the field here in the pull-off in Canfield, Ohio. 265 feet and 5 inches for Jerry Carlton. Ed Wandler, Battleford, Canada, is up next, the second person in the pull-off. Ed Wandler can make things happen in the Bud Bandit. The distance to beat, 265 feet and 5 inches. As he hooks to the thumb, we will see if he can top that distance. Jerry Carlton in the Enterprise at 265 and 5 has set the mark here in this 6,200-pound four-wheel drive pull-off. Has set the new distance in the Bud Bandit Chevrolet-powered 650 cubic inches. The Bud Bandit has captured one right here. Ed Wandler sets the new mark, 271 feet 11 inches. A tough go-around here in the 6,200 four-wheel drive class, but a nice effort here in the pull-off. It sure is. I don't know if it's going to hold up, but all we can do is sit back and watch and see what happens.
How's the Bandit running?
It's running really good.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Jeffrey Schaefer is up next, piloting a 1987 Chevrolet S10, the Rookie of the Year in the Ohio State Tractor Pullers Association back in 1986. Well, a couple of years later, and he is still running strong. The distance to beat, Ed Wandler and the Bud Bandits set it, 271 feet, 11 inches. Looks as if we've got a new leader. Win, lose, or draw, Jeffrey Schaefer. Chevy Power has set the new mark in this class. Foreplay, a 1960 Chevy, is up. Spotted the sled a little bit to the right side, and we'll see if that's going to be the margin that he wants to take, the area of track that he wants to take. Contestant number 4, 300 foot. The distance to beat, 277 feet, 4 inches. Grand National Point champion. Foreplay has done it. 1960 Chevy, great year for that make and model right there, and James Holman shows why he is the Grand National Point champion from a year ago. Jim Holman has definitely done it right there. Jim Holman, let's talk about it right here. Very, very tough class, 13 of them going out. Your comments right now as you set the new mark.
That was a good run. Worked the motor real hard at the end. A lot of tough trucks to come yet, so we'll see.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
Holman Brothers Pulling set the new distance right now, 281 feet, 2 inches. Old Yeller coming up, ready to hook. Mark Hunter in a Ford in the pull-off. Now, everybody that's come out the gate since Jerry Carlton started it off has gone a little bit further, and a little bit further, and a little bit further. The distance to beat, 281 feet, 2 inches. Mark Hunter's got a tough job in front of him. Many more left to come as we've got 13 here in the pull-off. Great competitive class here in Canfield, Ohio. 6,200 four-wheel drive. Gave it all he had, coming up a couple of feet short of the Kendall flag flying out there, but a good run for Mark Hunter and Old Yeller. Next up, it is Steve Olson and Simon Says out of Farley, Iowa. A part of the Simon Says pulling team. He is number 6 of 13 here in the pull-off during the Canfield Grand National. Going to be close. Number 6 might just do it. We'll have to wait and see. Simon Says and Steve Olson. 265 feet 2 inches for Simon Says and Steve Olson. Halfway through the 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class here in Canfield, Ohio. Lots of great hooks coming up. New Berlin, Wisconsin, and the Golden Ox right now. The distance to beat, 281 feet 2 inches. And we'll just see if this new technology that he's got underneath that sheet metal will come through. Steve Jaski and Bud Jaski, members of the Jaski pulling team, Miller Genuine Draft pulling team, and Bud Jaski right now hooking up to see if he can take the sled past 281 feet 2 inches. think he has done it. Bud Jasky, look at that underneath. I don't know. Has he done it? It is going to be close. Bud Jasky finishes the Golden Ox 2 days before Canfield. And Bud Jasky right now unstrapping as he comes out of his safety equipment. We're going to get a word with him right quick. Bud Jasky stepping off the Golden Ox, and Bud, an interesting looking vehicle.
Yeah, we tried a bunch of different stuff, and we may be a little bit stiff. Didn't stay on the ground quite as good as we hoped they would have, but we're real satisfied. First time out, it's hard to make something run as good as we thought this one did. So.
You've definitely been the talk of Canfield, Ohio in this four-wheel drive class with the frame. Tell us a little bit about the technology.
Well, we just did it. We kind of went in conjunction with Tom Pogo, who is a renowned sprint car driver and about hooking up on dirt. And he had a bunch of ideas, and we had a bunch of ideas, and he came to a bunch of our pulls and got real involved and kind of put the two together.
I guess if you put it all together, it's going to happen for you. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Bud Jasky, the Golden Ox. Just fine. This is Marty Smith in a 1972 Chevrolet. Again, in the 300-foot class. The distance to beat, 281 feet 2 inches. That mark has been set by the Grand National Point champ, the reigning champ, Jim Holman. 281 feet 2 inches. Just fine, not quite good enough. 262 feet 10 inches for Just Fine and Marty Smith. Frank Young in Monkey Business. He is the last Ford left in this pull-up. It's led by Chevys. There are 3 Chevys behind him. The distance that Frank Young out of Florida has to beat, 281 feet 2 inches. He'll hook it back up and get set to go as he is the last Ford challenger. It looks as if a Chevy might just win this particular class. But we're not going to count out Monkey Business and Frank Young just yet. In for all he's worth, the Monkey Business is not going to be on top this time around. Definitely gave it a good roll in the Ford out of Loxahatchee, Florida. Ed Hansloven Jr. is up next in the Nightmare, and as we have said, it's going to be Chevrolet is going to take home the top prize here at the Canfield Grand Nationals. Kind of unique. The Chevy All-Stars have been one of the great sponsors that's put on this fantastic Grand National pull. The Chevrolet will win, but which Chevy is going to take home the top dollars? Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet. Hansloven Jr. is everybody's nightmare. Many times in the sport of truck and tractor pulling, everything goes your way. Mike Johnson, the big J pulling team out of Perry, Oklahoma, went full pull, comes into the pull-off, and had to scratch due to some technical difficulties. Some mechanical problems will take the Oklahoma Showdown out of the running. We've got one puller left. Gene Waldron, the heartbeat, number 13 left to pull. Found out the Oklahoma Showdown and Mike Johnson having an oil pressure problem. That forces him to scratch from the class. Gene Waldron has the last hook. He has got to go by 281 feet 2 inches that Jim Holman has set. That's the distance to beat. One man left to do it. The heartbeat. Yes, it's a Chevy truck. And as we said, Chevrolet going to win this class for this go-round. Gene Waldron has the opportunity to do that right now. Gene Waldron brings it right down. Sparks coming out from under 276 feet, 10 inches for Gene Waldron in the heartbeat right there. And they hook it up. He will go back to the pits. A nice, strong run for the young man out of Florida.
When truck and tractor pulling all began, it was a fantasy. From the farm tractors to the multi-engine powerhouse, never has pulling been so competitive as on the Grand National level. Come to an NTPA Copenhagen-Skoal Pulling Circuit event and witness competition like you've never seen before. Joining us at an NTPA Grand National event guarantees you action-packed pulling with some of the biggest names in the sport. Look for the next NTPA sanctioned pull near you. As Power Pack Motorsports continues its coverage of pulling events, remember, your favorite shows are now available on VHS. Please include show requested. Jim Holman will take home the win with 281 feet. Ed Hansloven Jr. finishes second, and Jeffrey Shader will take third.
Gene Waldron, 276 feet, 10 inches. And Mr. Holman, it happened. You survived the entire field, come out 281 feet, 2 inches.
That's painful, sitting here watching a class of good trucks when you hook early and you're in the lead. It's tough.
26 of them, start off. 13 of them go to the pull-off. And let's talk a little bit about the track conditions. Did it hold up through all those four-wheel drives?
I thought the track held up really well, and I thought it was very even for everyone. You saw people at the end of the pull-off there getting right out there, and of course I wanted at the beginning, so real good track. They've done a heck of a job with the track.
The first time a Grand National event's been held here in Canfield. What about this facility here at the Canfield Fairgrounds?
Oh, it's a super facility. A lot of room for pits, utilities, excellent track, good grandstands. This is a nice place to come.
Jim Holman captures the 6,200 four-wheel drive class, winning pull 281 feet and 2 inches. And that's going to wrap up this edition of Wheel Power. We'll see you again real soon on the NTPA Copenhagen-Skoal Grand National Pulling Circuit.